Welcome into this place. Welcome to this broken vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our voice and we offer up the praise unto your name. Hope Haven, this is Dr. Yvonne Pointer McCrary, and guess what? I have the man himself in the Hope Haven tonight. I'm not playing with y'all. You know, sometimes it's just me and you. Then on occasions we get I almost want to say a famous person. A superstar who may not consider that to be true, but I do. So I'm going to just really get through what I got to do so we can bring him in, and then we'll be done. We want to say thank God for the Hope Haven. What is the Hope Haven? It is the dwelling place of possibilities. It is where we come Monday through tonight. We love you all the way from St. Louis. We come Monday through Friday since October 1st, 2016. And there are some days that we just like, can't do it. But God strengthens us. So I'm going to ask that everybody that's here do me a favor and go ahead and start tagging people, sharing, letting people know to come in. We want to thank God for the first 24 where we get up, wash our face, brush our teeth, and for the first 24 minutes of the day we come into the presence of the Lord. We also want to say thank you for praying for the sick and the afflicted. I have a new mindset for those who are afflicted. And I just believe, Myra, I love you, that God is going to take us all through, because our prayers are a different kind of prayers lately. Amen. We want to continue to pray for Barbara Bradford Williams' family. Want to pray for Lady Gilmore. We want to say, if you'd like to be a blessing to the children in Ghana, West Africa, $ Hope Haven 1. And we want to remind you to please read 5 chapters of the Psalms every day, because that's the way we're going to make it. We're going to cling to, we love you too, dear heart, cling to the rugged cross. So what I'm going to do, Barbara Brown, I'm trying to wait on people to come in, but listen. I'm just going to bring my guest in so we can get this ball started, huh? Mr. Betty. I'm cutting it short, so we look at my pillows falling. Y'all, I'm telling you. Hi, Renee Abrams. We got Mike Berry in the Hope Haven tonight. Hey. Mike, I think you was one of the original guests.
Oh yeah, I go back. I'm a Hope Haven OG.
He a Hope Haven OG. We've been doing this since 2016.
Yeah.
Because you've been going a minute with Mike. When did you start that?
Around then.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Time just be flying, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
So before we get to why you're here, why don't you just, somebody might not know, who is this gentleman? So we always like to talk about who was Little Mike and bring us up to date.
Who was Little Mike?
I mean, he was from Cleveland.
Oh yeah, I'm from Cleveland.
Sister's brothers.
Yeah. I
lived on the east side, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was born and raised in the Union area, 118th and Union. I have a sister. I have a brother from my stepfather. Raised by my mother and my stepfather. He was around since I was about 5. Mm-hmm. So migrated as I went where my mother went. So she ended up. Let me take this gum in my mouth.
Here. You got it?
Yeah, a piece of that. I can see this gum in my mouth. I'm all on the big screen with this gum in my mouth. But then we moved to Euclid, and as my mother did better, Then we moved to the Heights. So we actually started on 30th and Central.
Shut up.
Yeah.
So you from the project?
30th and Central from the
Hello.
townhouse. My mother hates when I say projects because we stayed in the townhouses.
Oh, the townhouse.
Yeah, across from the project.
Yeah,
we didn't live in no projects. We stayed in the townhouse. I was like, we went to Marion Sterling. We lived in the project. And then we ended up in Cleveland Heights, and I graduated from Cleveland Heights in '89.
Wow. So what was like? Did you have dreams as a kid that you were going to one day rule the world?
Yeah, I wanted to be a rapper like everybody else. So that actually started, my whole entertainment journey started back in, I couldn't have been, probably about 12.
Wow.
Yeah, I was Mr. Smooth. I was a rapper.
Who was your inspiration?
Back then it was like Run DMC, Sugar Hill Gang.
Okay.
You know, we was in the breaking era. Coming out of the breaking era. And so really like Sugar Hill Gang, Grandmaster Flash, and those type of guys.
Wow. So listen, that's right. Start sharing. We got Mike Berry in the Hope Haven. Mike Berry is famous to us. So y'all in St. Louis might not know, or in California might not know, but you will. So tell us about Little Mike. He did what? He went to Cleveland Heights, and then what he do?
And then, you know, I went to Central State University.
Okay.
And by then I was kind of like following the crowd. So I ended up going to prison for, I did 7 years, 6 years and some months in prison. And probably the best thing that happened to me because I was, you know, I was just lost. You know what I mean? Like just selling dope, robbing. Didn't have to. Yeah.
Like a lot of people out there don't have to.
I can't even say why. It just, I don't know, just, I wasn't really a yes man, but it just seemed like that's what people was doing. So that's what we doing today. We selling drugs, we robbing. So
Hey, Sonya.
Yeah, so I actually look at jail. Jail was probably the best thing that happened to me because I probably would have killed somebody.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
Or got killed.
Or got killed, yeah. So that was the best 6.5 years I could have done.
So you got out, and what happened? You had an epiphany?
Oh, I had an epiphany in jail. I knew I wasn't coming back. I was the entertainment in jail. I was like Tupac in jail. No?
Really?
Yeah, for real. Anybody ever been to prison with me will tell you. When I used to go out and rap in prison, it would be so many people out watching me that the goon squad would come out and be like, what's going on? It would look like a riot.
Wow.
Like Mike outside. No cap, like Mike Berry outside rapping.
Wow.
It used to go crazy.
So you are really inspiration then to some of the guys that's still locked down.
Oh yeah. It's crazy because I was like, no, you know, I'm proud. I was legendary in prison for being an intellectual and for being an entertainment. Like I was like famous in prison for rapping. Like you had to be there to understand what I'm saying. Like I was in the jail. There's maybe 3,000 people there. It's like 2,000 people outside watching me rap.
Wow.
Yeah, they used to come out like, what's going on out here? Barry, cut it out.
But you know what? It's a whole lot of talent behind them walls.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Sometimes I go into the prisons, you know, and I remember hearing this white guy sing, he sound better than any country western. I'm like, what is you doing in prison?
Oh, yeah. I went to prison with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny story about that. I went to prison with you that one time, and there was a guy there. His name was Wayne. And I don't know if you know him, but his name was Wayne. I saw him. I said, hey, man, when did you come back? So he looking at me like, huh? And I'm like, how many times you been back? So he like, what you talking about? Now, when I was there, he had 20 years in, right? And he is like, I never went home. Yeah. And I said, wait a minute. I'm doing the math in my head. And I said, how old is you? He said, 63. And I said, how long you been locked up? He said, I got locked up 1 hour into my 18th birthday.
And he's still there.
He's still there.
Yeah, I was with him about a couple of months ago.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Dwayne Farrell.
Yeah. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, he's done about 52 years so far.
Crazy. Yeah. So when I hear stories like that, I feel blessed. You know what I mean? Like, I hated it while I was there, but when I think back in retrospect, I'll be like, man, that worked out for me.
You know, I went down too when Life Jennings was there.
Okay.
Yeah, so Life sang a song to me, and I said the same thing to him. Why are you in prison?
Yeah, right.
So, you know, every time he comes to Cleveland, he always makes sure he leave me some tickets. Let's get to what is Mike doing now. I mean, tell us short your bio, because I know what it is.
Yeah, well, most people know me. I'm a director. I've directed 10 movies. I've had movies on Stars, Hulu, DirecTV, Showtime, everywhere. I'm actually on my 10th movie now, which will be screening on the 14th of this month.
And it's sold out though, is it?
Yes. I actually got 4 tickets because a friend of mine, daughter's graduation is that day.
Oh.
So it's like, can you sell my tickets for me? I was like, yeah, I get them sold. So anybody looking to come, you better get
4
them.
tickets.
4.
And where's it going to be?
Lakeshore Cinema on Lakeshore out in Euclid.
I got my 2.
Yeah, she got hers.
So, but let's talk about your first movie you did.
The first movie I did was actually called The Skip Thomas Project. It was bad. I won't even show people that movie. But it just set the stage for what I could do. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a film student. I was going to film school. I was probably two months into film school. And I was like, man, I ain't got time to be going 4 years. I'm about to make something now. And I put a movie in the theater and sold 670 seats. And I knew then, oh, I could do this.
So what interested you in doing movies though? How did you go from rapping to movies?
Okay, that's a good story. Now this is the truth. I'm not exaggerating. So I was a rapper, rapping with, I had a top 100 album. I had 2 top 100 singles. I toured with MTV. I did a lot, some other stuff in rapping, but I felt like I was getting older and I needed something that would give me the longest shelf life. So I literally sat at my dining room table and said, don't get up until you can think of something that would allow you to be creative regardless of your age. And that's how I got into filmmaking. It wasn't because I wanted to make film. It's because I needed something that nobody questions. Nobody questions people's age when they film directors.
So you just decided, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And then as fate would have it, couldn't have been 2 days later, I'm on Facebook. I see this girl on there with these purple boots on. I was like, man, she cute. I inbox her. I'm doing my little flirting. Said, let's go out to dinner. I go out to dinner with her. We talking. Her name was Tina Hobbs.
Yeah.
And I said, what do you do? She said, I write insurance, but on the side, I'm a casting agent. So what's a casting agent? She explained what it was. I cast movies. I said, that's crazy because I'm about to be a filmmaker. And I knew then this just can't be coincidence.
Yeah.
And now that's one of my best friends. And I knew then the dating ain't going to work and it's not going to work out. It's not supposed to.
But it's working what's supposed to work.
It's working the way, yeah.
But isn't that something how what you're seeking in life is also seeking you?
Mm-hmm.
That's a for real fact.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's like the first time I went to Africa. I didn't know how to get to Africa. And I went to somebody's wedding.
Yeah.
Ran into somebody I ain't seen in I don't know when.
Yeah.
Getting ready to go to Africa. And there it was, right there.
Yeah. Well, I tell people, man, and this is the truth. This is how I feel. So anybody listening, just think about this. Let's just say you're a singer. Mm-hmm. And you like, man, I can't get the big break. I can't get the big break. Do you know that somebody is sitting at their desk right now gonna lose their job if they don't find the next person? Wow. They looking for you.
They looking for you.
They look. It's just, well, the problem is they're not gonna find you on the comforts of your couch.
Come on.
They're not gonna find you.
What they gotta do? What they gotta do?
Shake some bushes. You gotta go out there and try to find them. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you'll find them. Lucky, but you won't get lucky at home. You
gotta do something.
You gotta do. And guess what you gotta do?
What?
Anything. But it can't be in the house. Mm. It just can't be in the house.
What about the people say, "Well, God gonna bless me"? I'm sitting here watching Wheel of Fortune.
Well, the problem with that is, God might bless you, but He is often gonna bless you based on the action. So. For example, you'd be like, I want to meet somebody. And you might meet somebody on Facebook. Mm-hmm. But if you go out in the street, you might run into Quentin Tarantino. You might run into Tyler Perry. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you just got to get out there and just really just make it happen, man. Like,
well, I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer that what you are seeking is also seeking
That's
you.
a fact.
I know it for a fact.
Yeah.
And what God doesn't want us to know is how it's going to happen. Just know that it can happen.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do is know it can happen.
Yeah.
So you did your first film. And I got to tell you, if anybody's ever seen Logan's film, Blanket Blessing, that's won awards and stuff. Mike Berry produced her film, and he saw her a little while ago. She was a little girl.
Man, she grown. She's like 64 now, huh?
Ah, yes. So, but when we needed a film done, we look no further than Mike Berry. And he just did our documentary for our victims conference. So you don't just do big films. People can hire you, right?
Oh yeah. I'm a working director.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tell narrative stories for me, but in between that, I gotta work.
Yeah. So you've done 10 films.
Yeah.
Can you name all 10?
The Skip Thomas Project, If You Knew Better, You Do Better, Rent Due, Legit Paper, Hey Mr. Postman, Banger, Grace and Mercy, this movie, The Deli Type, Pressure, and one more, Pressure, and it's another one in there.
It's another one.
I ain't got my jacket on. They only sleeve with my jacket.
You have to Google.
Yeah.
And you do a lot of work around mental health.
Oh, I advocate for mental health. I've been dealing with depression and anxiety 25 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this morning, as I like to say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mike Berry is in the Hope Haven. So Mike, listen, I tagged Elvin Ross because you know Elvin. You met him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tagged him so he could watch too.
Yeah.
That's my dude. Hey, Elvin, if you're watching already. So tell them what's the inspiration about this movie without giving it away. Because you know how when they doing them real interviews, they can't talk about it.
Oh, this one is a thriller. It's a psychological thriller about a woman who moves to a small town. And she's a corporate type. And she catches the eye of the most eligible guy in town, Lance Reynolds. And Lance lost his wife. I can tell you this. Lance lost his wife. Lance lost his girlfriend before that. But Lance has a type. And when things don't go right, let's just say Lance wants to start over. All the way over. You know what I'm saying?
Am I going to bite my nails?
No, it's good. This is my best work for sure.
Okay. Tony Minor wants us to talk about the balloon launch for families who have been victimized. Tony, would you put the information up, please? So that they can write it down, and I'll put the flyer on my page. So you said this is your best work.
Hands down.
Who's some of the people in the film?
I have Mark Taylor and I have Erica Hubbard. Erica Hubbard's, if you see them, they've been in a lot of like BET movies, and Erica Hubbard was on Everybody Loves Chris for a while. She's best known for, I forget this show, like 17 Forever or Forever 17 or something like that. That's what she's known for. So
do you film in Cleveland?
Yeah, we filmed in Cleveland. I filmed other places before, but predominantly in Cleveland.
So what's next for Mike Berry? First of all, how can they get those last 4 tickets? Hey, Tim Wells. Y'all, he got 4 tickets left, and that's a wrap.
Yeah.
But if they want to get them, how do they get the tickets?
You can, go to my IG, Mike Berry 241, and then just hop in my inbox, and you can cash out me, Zelle me, and I'll put you on the list, the will call list, or bring, drop them off in your mailbox. However we got to do it.
Okay, y'all don't want to miss it. I'm telling you.
Oh no, this one gonna go.
Now I don't like thrillers. It's gonna make my.
Oh no, it's not a horror.
Okay.
It's a thriller.
Okay. Because people be asking me, did you see? I said anything gonna scare me. I don't need to look at it. No. It's
a thriller, so it's not meant to scare you. It's just meant to have you on the edge of your seat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So listen, Hope Haven, we're here with Mike Berry tonight. And Mike, what I want people to know is that you are accessible.
Oh, for sure.
You still do your minute with Mike?
Yeah, motivational
minute.
I've been tied up with the movie as of late, but I'm getting, you know what I mean? Because that movie took a lot out of me. I ain't gonna hold you. It took a lot. Yeah, it took a lot out of me. Yeah.
So how do you come down?
Well, I won't until after the movie, and then I got to step away from it. And it's funny because 2 days before we start shooting Principal for the movie, I fell into like this crazy depression, like. I couldn't fall apart. We finna shoot a movie.
Yeah.
And after that, I shot a documentary for some guys out of LA. And after that, I shot the reality series for Philly Wheaton.
Yeah.
And then after that, I had to edit the movie, color the movie, score the movie. So I haven't had a time to decompress, but I'm at the finish line. All those projects is closed out. And then I'm just going to take some time for myself right after the movie.
Well, but then isn't that interesting? So you can't even afford to fall apart.
No, you can't. Because, I got a lot on my plate, but I always say, man, don't complain about being full when the whole object was to eat.
Yeah.
So I can't complain, and I just understand that the universe is always conspiring with us to reach these goals. Now, my cross to bear, I deal with mental health issues, but I cannot fall apart while I'm proving to the universe, proving to God that I'm ready for this gift, I can't fall apart. You know what I mean? So I've been able to like step back, take some, and I gotta get back in there.
Yeah.
But I telling myself this not forever. It's so because the day after the movie, I can sit it down. It's over with.
Yeah.
And I can really decompress and take some time to myself to really just breathe. But right now, it is what it is.
But you know what? It's good that you got all this because it's kind of keeping you going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you said when you fall into a depression, it's like that thing is right there any moment you want to come in.
Yeah.
But you say, no, I can't do you today.
Not today. I don't have the luxury of that.
Yeah.
There's money on the line.
Yeah.
I just don't have the luxury. Because I had it. You know, I was sleeping all day until it got to the point where I couldn't. Because the date was coming. June 14th was coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So what about people out there that might not even know they dealing with depression? Is that one sign you sleeping? And...
Yeah. Well, you know, my biggest thing is I tell people, you lose a loved one, you lose your job, something like that, you're going to feel a little depression, and we get that. But when you got money, you got a job, you got friends, you got a husband, you got a wife, and you still don't find joy and happiness, you might be dealing with depression.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes, you know, people try to look for a reason why. It could be chemical. It could be some trauma from this coming up from your past. It could be any number of things. But you won't know unless you go talk to a professional.
Yeah.
Talking to, you know, to people who are not skilled in that area is not prudent. You need to talk to somebody prudent in that area. Like I told my mother, I think you're dealing with depression. She said, I'm going to talk to pastor. I said, Mom, listen, this pastor's side job. Pastor can give you the biblical, but it's somebody out here who went to school to figure that out. Let them, you know what I'm saying?
Well, pastor needs to talk to somebody sometimes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And
because one of your films dealt with that.
Oh,
right?
yeah, Pressure.
Pressure, yeah.
Yeah, Pressure. And well, Pressure was a documentary, but my film was A State of Mind. So anybody listening, go to Peacock, go to Tubi, or go to Amazon, A State of Mind, M-I-N-D. Hands down my most important film. Because on my journey with depression, Dr. P, I found that it wasn't about as much as how I felt. It's about how the people around me viewed how I told them I felt. My mother always was saying, pray it out. My friends was always saying, thug it out. Girls was always saying, what you talk about? You feel what I'm saying? Like you could tell somebody, and that was always frustrating to me. I could tell somebody, man, I feel like I'm drowning and I just won't die. You know, because that's how it felt. Like I'm drowning, but I'm just constantly getting waterboarded and just won't die. You know?
Right.
And no matter what you tell people, they're like, "Oh, for real? But what you got to be depressed about?
Yeah.
You got a house, you got a car. Oh, I didn't think of that. Like I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't find the joy and the happiness I used to have. Don't trust me. I want to get back.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make a movie that spoke to that too, not just my condition, but the lack of compassion or compassion. Because a lot of times people be like, man, you just lazy. It ain't that I'm lazy. Sometimes I feel powerless to even get off the couch.
Yeah.
But I've been blessed that that's something I don't do long.
Yeah.
But some people, it just puts you down. You be like, man, I can't. And you start beating yourself up because you feel like a loser, like I'm lazy, I'm unmotivated. And it's just this thing in your body that you want to just sleep all day, you know?
Yeah.
I can't explain it. It's just
and
the way
it says state of mind, right?
A State of Mind.
Okay.
Mike starring Elise Neal from the Hughleys.
Right. Hey, Linda. Well, you know what? We're grateful that you can talk about it. Because how many people out here you think even dealing with it, but they can't talk about it?
Yeah. Well, it was a time when, back when I started, one day I was in H.H. Gregg. I worked at H.H. Gregg, and this girl was new. And they was making fun of her. They said she took medication. And they was like, I think she deal with depression. And so depression wasn't a word like that back in 03, 02. It wasn't the buzzword it is now. And so one day I saw her back there and I was like, hey, somebody told me you deal with depression. She's like, yeah. And I was like, what is that? What does that feel like? And she explained it. And I was like, oh, okay. But it was me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was happy that it had a face to it. And I went to a therapist. They put me on Zoloft, gave me the jitters. I got off that, and that shocked me so bad. I was like, I ain't talking to nobody. They're trying to kill me with these drugs. And so it wasn't until maybe 10 years later that I realized, no, I need some therapy. This ain't it.
Yeah.
Because I drugged myself through 20 of them years.
Yeah.
On pure determination.
Yeah.
And really just unselfishness, because I just didn't want to dump at the feet of my kids suicide. Because trust me, I'd encountered the two more than a few times. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to dump it on the feet of my kids. And so I said, well, somebody got to shoulder it. I'll shoulder it. You know?
That's like, I think, Robin Williams. You know, I saw something on Facebook, and it talked about it don't always look like the person is going through what they're going through. So how, if we looking at you, we could be like everybody else, or he cool.
Yeah.
What do you say to people like that? If somebody...
Well, the people who are dealing with it, you can't heal what you don't reveal. Why would any man or woman ask another man or woman who's smiling every day, are you okay? Why would I even think to do that?
Right.
So don't worry about whether people gonna call you a Debbie Downer, man. If you feeling a way, you gotta say it. Or how would I know?
Yeah.
How would I know it when Robin Williams took his life? Who would have guessed it?
Yeah.
He smiled all day.
Yeah, and making everybody else happy.
Yeah. So you gotta tell somebody.
Right.
You know, and they're gonna judge how they're gonna judge, but it is what it is. You know.
Wow.
You know?
So do you think your gift is a part of it? Because a lot of gifted people are weighted by life, you know, because you're feeling stuff that everybody else ain't picking up.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Yeah. I have a very discerning spirit, a very empathic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have a real unselfish concern for people's feelings. I feel bad when you feel bad.
Yeah.
And because I'm a creative, I overthink.
Yeah.
So that plays right into that depression.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm making up whole scenarios
Yeah.
of what's gonna go wrong. They about to drop a nuclear bomb in Hope Haven. Let me get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that compounds it.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, creative people deal with it.
Yeah. Hey, with Judge Bell, I know you. I have to talk to myself. I'm creative and also a wordsmith. See, I can take one word and create a whole chapter.
Come on now, yeah.
You know, and then I done played it out, went down the street, and I have to speak to myself. I'm like, come on now. That's why I say every movie, I'm not going to go see. Like, it's a movie out, and I'm not going to say what it is. People are like, well, you going to see that? I'm like, no.
It was hyped up. It was all right.
Really? I said, but I'm not going to even go in to see it because I can't put that in my circle, in my spirit. I can't do it because it might just be a movie to some people, but to me, it's going to take me on down the road. I ain't ready to go now. Yeah. So everybody, it's the best movie in the world. I'm like, well, I'm not going to go see it. I'm sorry. So anyway, Mike Berry is here. You got 4 tickets left. Lady Sharon, we love you. We got so many people, Mike, who might want to just reach out to you after this is done. Yeah. They might have an idea. They might need you to do something. Yeah. How do they reach you?
On Instagram, Mike Berry 241, and then just Mike Berry on Facebook.
Yep. And he's Cleveland's own. Yeah. And the film is when?
June 14th, A State of Mind. That's the old movie. The Deadly Type. June 14th, The Deadly Type.
Wow. We're not even going to do our whole hour because all of us is like wiped out. But we just want to come on real quick. We want to remind you Tenora's event is coming up. We got a lot of things going on in Cleveland. And we definitely want, if you don't get the tickets for the 14th, just keep Mike in prayer, right? Because this is heavy. But it's good. It's good. Because it's going to be like a red carpet, right? What that night going to look like?
Blast off. We up and stuck. It's going to be red carpet. It's going to be star-studded. It's going to be a lot to see. if you haven't ever been to my movies, we gonna do it grand fashion. You know what I mean? Like, we worked hard. We want to, you know, I've done 10 movies, so it doesn't feel to me the way it feels to an actor who hasn't experienced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've experienced it. I'm proud for them. You know, I'm proud for me too because, man, I did it.
Wow. So red carpet is like, y'all, so they should dress up, right?
People you can come relaxed if you want, but people gonna come in that boy with they Sunday best on. That's just how it go. You know what I mean? So
oh, that's wonderful.
I'm super excited. You know what I mean? Like, for the city, for the culture, and just for people who haven't got that feeling.
Well, I mean, so the media and everything gonna be there?
Yeah, it'll be people there. Yeah.
This is exciting. So, I mean, I think I asked you this as we close. What's next? Because, I mean, I know you do. Just what's next?
You know, I just want to go where I'm called to and just operate in my purpose on purpose. I know what my purpose is. I know what it is. You know, so it's always been to me this way, been to me that way. Just trying to be obedient. Because, you know, it ain't the money.
No.
Money is a byproduct of your hustle.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't chase the money is because Robin Williams, the money wasn't enough for him.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough for Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
And if I had $1 billion and could give it to somebody to take me back to that day before I give it to him.
Come on.
You can have this money if you can. You know what I mean? So money not gonna solve my problems.
No.
But it'll just make things easier for me. So, but I just want to be purposeful.
If you don't chase the money, that's important.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Because when I think about the gentleman on the Ellen DeGeneres show,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, Twitch.
Yeah. I mean, Twitch, like, come on, Twitch
Yeah,
got it all. Yeah.
Money is not it. People be like, man, like, when I get the money, when you get the money, you just got money.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna heal that.
Yeah.
It's not. I know it's not.
Yeah.
Because I done had a little, you know, enough, and it didn't take away that.
No.
So I just want to be purposeful. That's what's next for me. Just being purposeful.
Yeah.
Gotta sit still for a minute and be like, what am I supposed to do? I'm always gonna advocate for mental health. So anybody out there who is dealing with anything on a mental health level, just know, man, you love, needed, and necessary. You are perfect in your imperfections, and all, not some, but all who know you are made better. I know everybody is not gonna understand what you're going through. But that doesn't mean people don't love you. That doesn't mean people don't care about you. And anytime you feel like you at your limit and you say, man, I'm a loser, I'm a nobody loves you, take time to slow down and ask yourself, is it really any truth to that statement? And the answer is going to always be no. Never make a permanent solution to a temporary problem, man. Just sit still, do whatever you got to do to just take a step back and look at the big picture. Don't look at that wallet size thing. You know, oh, my car broke down. I ain't got no money. I broke up with my girl. My husband left me. That's wallet size. Look at the big picture. The big picture. You got people out here who are going to be devastated if things don't, you know, if things take a turn for the worse. So, man, just understand that, again, you are loved, needed, and necessary. And most importantly, man, you are enough. I know sometimes, man, we don't feel like we are enough. We can look, because sometimes, man, you know, I've done a lot of things in my life. I can look into the mirror and be like, Mike, you a hell of a man. That's what people say. But I look in the mirror, I see a shell of that man. So I got to hype myself up and say, Mike, you got any proof that you a shell of that man? No, I don't. You think all these people out here lying to me? They can't be lying to me. They're not conspiring to come to my movie and cheer me on as a lie. Because I actually thought that before. 1,600 people came to one of my movies, and I felt like a failure after the movie. And I had to tell myself, Mike, do you think all these people just paid their money to come see your movie to lie to you and tell you you dope? You feel me? So just, you know, man, you just gotta know. You just gotta understand. I know it ain't gonna be easy, because I can tell you, make it sound easy. It's not easy. Nothing is easy.
No.
You know, nothing is easy. But you just need a why, whatever your why is. You know, and money ain't gonna be your why.
No,
Trust
money
me.
is not. Money is not.
I'm gonna stay alive to leave my kids something. Nah, that ain't it. Trust me. You need a stronger why than that, because at some point that won't be enough. You just gotta know that the lies you tell yourself are lies. They lies. You know what I mean? Because you know you lie to yourself, and you know, especially if you're dealing with mental health. Me, sometimes I could be pessimistic because in my head I'm looking at the worst in it, but I keep working because I know that God, I know that the universe will reward you for work.
Why do we see the worst?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. We amplify the worst.
Yeah, we amplify the worst.
Yeah, we amplify the worst. And it don't matter though. I don't care if I'm negative all day, I'ma still keep working because I know that again, God and you gonna reward me for the work. You ain't never heard the Bible say nothing about reward you for being positive. Faith without works. It don't say faith without positive. You positive, go positive some snow out your driveway. You gonna have to go out there and work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you could be, I don't care when people, you know, I deal with people with mental health issues. They might be a little negative. I don't hold that against them because I understand where it's coming from. But they getting that work done.
Yeah.
And you're going to be rewarded for that work. You get people in the NBA that's been depressed. They'll tell these stories. They put that work to get to the NBA.
Yeah.
They didn't just be positive. They was working. I got to outwork this. I got to outwork it, you know?
Yeah. And then, you know, one of my most favorite movies is A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the day, it was still there.
Yeah.
You know, he just had to learn how not to feed into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we keep waiting on it to go away.
Nah.
We keep waiting on it to be better.
When you let's think about this. When you're in prison, when I was in prison, you get to jail and, you know, you say, man, how am I going to do 50 years? But there's guys who've been in there 40 years. So at some point, they come to terms with that. And once you come to terms with it, and you can deal with it. So back to the mental health. I ain't saying just claim it, but come to terms with it. But if you find it, oh man, I'm paying you in my... So what I do, since depression and mental health is going to be in my mind, like my mama said, you can't stay nowhere you ain't paying rent. So if you're going to occupy my head, I'm going to put you to work. That's why I started talking about it.
Yeah.
And actually getting paid to talk about it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be up here, we about to work. Let's go to work.
Yeah.
We working right now.
And what it doesn't want is to be exposed.
So we ain't going to be cowered in the corner. I'm going to be on Hope Haven trying to reach somebody. Yeah. Or even if somebody on Hope Haven doesn't deal with depression, they might got a loved one.
Yeah.
Who they, like, man, they might have a better perspective. You know, it ain't personal what he doing to you. You taking it personal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I just told him we need to get out and get some air, and he ain't want to go. He ain't really trying to fix the problem. That ain't helpful. That's not helpful. You think it is.
Yeah.
Like getting some sometimes, because sometimes, Dr. P, I know, you know, I deal with a female, or just say I'm with a female, and she say, Mike, I see you going through something. You want to go to the park? I know when to say, yeah, or when to say, no, we're going to have to come back tomorrow. Yeah. It's not going to happen today. Yeah. I know it.
And then that person needs to be okay with
it.
And
it's not personal.
Yeah.
But they take it personal.
Yeah, people, yeah.
You rejected me. No, I just know today is dug in deep today.
Yeah.
It's dug in deep today. So I know you wanted me to fight for it, but I got to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, what was I supposed to be a couple weeks ago?
Here.
And what I tell you?
Said, can't do it.
Can't do it.
And so I could have said, well, Mike.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm okay.
Because I'd been over here like, hey, y'all.
No, I'm like, okay.
Yep.
I think sometimes we got to hear what a person is saying and what they're not saying. You know. And this what I've learned. Since I'm picking it up. You know, I'm in a room with people and I'm talking to you, but I'm picking up conversations around me. And some of the conversations are hurting my ears. You know, like I don't want to talk about people. I don't want to talk about what the problem is because I know what the problems are. So I'm really trying to migrate towards somebody who is not all the time having a problem, because 99% of my calls are people with a problem. I'm just going to say it.
Gosh.
I'm just saying that's the calling I have. Somebody has died. Somebody is sick. And so some days, Mike, I just don't want to be surrounded by, that's all it is. I'm like, is anybody saying anything good? So if that's the case, I gotta, what we do in Hope Haven is find my own beauty break, you know. I might have to just look at a flower and just get into how beautiful that is so I can kind of block out some of that. Yeah.
Well, you know, when you are a leader of sorts, or somebody like yourself, you know, who comforts the leader? You think people sat around comforting Martin Luther King?
No. Poor baby.
Because they see him as Superman.
Poor baby.
You know, they see, you know, even me. because I advocate, seldom does anybody call me and say, Mike, how are you? They call me and like, Mike, man, can you talk?
Yeah.
And then I got to lay on the couch and be like, what's up, bro? And here it comes.
Yeah.
Man, I'm feeling like, and I got it because these my people, but nobody seldom calls me.
And what I do on holidays, though.
Call me and say, Mike Berry, you want to play?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I heard him say one time the same thing. Nobody ever check on me.
Yeah. And I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah.
But that's part of being, you know, and I don't take it personal.
I don't take it personal.
You know,
I don't take it personal.
that's part of what I got to do. This is what I'm purposed to do. If people can find some inspiration or some hope or whatever in what I'm doing or what I'm saying, I'm going to do that.
Well, and they do me the same way. And I have people, what I've also learned how to do is receive too. Because people want to try to help. They doing the best they know how to do.
Yeah.
You know, I had somebody today, they said, I just want to be a blessing to you. My first thought was, I'm okay. And then my other thought was, why you say that?
Yeah, because you ain't,
Why don't you just receive it? You know what I'm saying? And I did, and she knows who she is. Thank you, thank you. Listen, Hope Haven, we over our time. I'm for real. Because normally we go to 9, but I'm trying to just, you know. I'm so happy Linda Reese is here. I'm so happy that Mike Berry's here. Mike, tell him again, you got 4 tickets, and I hope them tickets are gone by now.
June 14th, Lakeshore Cinema 7. The Deadly Type. It's a thriller. A kid could watch it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not nothing. It's a thriller. Edge of yours. It's a great story. Hands down, my best story. I'm going to get some money for this, Dr. P.
You going to get some money for him?
Man, listen. I'm going to get the check.
Ah!
They got to come with that check.
They're going to have to come with the check.
They got to come with the check.
Because you know what? That's all right. He's worthy of it. Hope Haven, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to follow Mike, see us out at the film, and just pray for us. That's the best thing somebody can do for me. Just pray for our strength, because we really are about God's business. And good night.
That's a great book title, About God's Business.
Oh, it is?
That's a great title. That's a cold book title.
Yeah,
About
right.
God's business.
About God, because we about His business.
That's a good one.
We about His business. Yeah. Because His business and your business is different.
Yep.
You know, everybody, I tell people, I'm minding my business 6 months of the year, and 6 months of the year I'm leaving yours alone.
Yeah.
So my year's taken.
You already know my brain clicking with a whole story for that.
Hey, come on with it. Let's see, is man kinky?
Oh, Monty Kyrie?
Yeah.
No, he not in this one. I just sold him 2 tickets yesterday. He bought 2 tickets. He was in State of Mind. He the star in State of Mind.
So y'all come to the film and you're gonna see these people, right?
Yeah. He bought 2 tickets yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a great actor. Great actor.
Yeah. Well, you're a great director.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You was trying to get in my next movie. I see what you want.
I don't know why I didn't know what.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, for real. Now let's talk.
I gotta stick you in there.
Mike, come with your 10 movie. I ain't in one.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Something wrong.
Get you in the next one.
Something wrong. I mean, I could do a cameo.
I know, right?
You know, like a Hope Haven scene or something. Yes.
Look at Felicia Hill. She know, ain't that a good title, Felicia?
About God's business. Hope Haven is about God's business.
I'm going to sleep on that, I'm telling you. About God's business.
Do it. Because when you think about 2016, Monday through Friday, every night.
I can see it being about, like, maybe somebody like some lady, she don't got a lot of money, but she choosing to take kids into her home, like a group home, but she don't got, you know, something. And she at the end, she'd be like, they'd be like, this is not a business you running. And then she gonna say that iconic line, this is about God's business. Woo!
Y'all heard it here in the Hope Haven. What about Africa? That's about God's business.
Thing. Yeah, something like that. But, you know.
It's about God's business.
It's about God.
It's about God's business.
Yeah.
Mike Berry's about God's business. God bless.